Hi everyone, I'm Chris.
And I'm Katrina.
And welcome back to the channel, our everyday getaway. And in this video, we're going to discuss 7 weeks into full-time RV living.
On the road.
On the road. Hey, look, real quick, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time we release a video. So in this video, we want to discuss our
likes, our dislikes, and the unexpected things we find.
What are the unexpected? Your first unexpected
is the cost of food, the rising cost of food.
For everything. And you guys know this. Inflation's through the roof right now, and it's affecting all of us in one way or the other, whether we're in an RV full-time or whether we're in an RV part-time. It does, weigh on your decisions to go here and to do this. But the cost of food, absolutely.
I'm just surprised. Just things that I could go to the grocery store for Chris and I, for example, and do $150 for a whole week. I can't even touch that now.
Yeah, and look, I'll be honest with you. For me, part of the reason going on the road is I wanted to at least a couple times a week go out to a restaurant. And I don't care if it was for breakfast or lunch or dinner. And go out there and show you that and experience that and have a nice sit-down meal. And we still do that. But
it's not going to be a couple times probably now. It might be like once or twice. We're going to have to cut that
down.
Yeah,
we're putting greater emphasis on cooking here inside of the RV, and I'm sure many of you do that as well. But it is kind of nice and kind of fun to go out to try the local cuisine or go to a restaurant, and you want to do that, and it's all part of it. And you can't get caught up into that, because if you do, then it does get costly.
Yes, but again, grocery stores costly too. So you just have to be aware and just pick and choose what you want to get.
Yeah, so I think we have to put that's unexpected. I don't think.
Well, I think we're also going to spend more time maybe going to like the Costco's and things like that and getting more items in bulk. Now that our refrigerator is larger than our old RV, we can do that.
Well, so that would be number one on the list. Would definitely be the cost of food first and foremost. But the cost doesn't end there. What else?
I would say maybe number 2 on the list, the cost of these RV parks and campgrounds.
Yeah, we recently we called a campground, or I called a campground.
In the Destin area.
Was it the Destin area?
It was the Destin area. Mm-hmm.
And they were charging like $145 a night. And I was like, wait a minute, you're not Fort Wilderness. This is ridiculous. Well, now, Fort Wilderness could be more expensive, but I was...
Well, and one of the things with that one, if you remember, they asked us about our slides. And the spot was very narrow. They said, this is an older campground. And the spots were even very narrow. So she said to you, because she was on speaker, I could hear, do you have, both side slide outs? And I don't know if you'll be able to, use all your slides. And we're like, wow, for $140+.
Well, look, for $140 some a night with a tight spot, I'd rather just stay at a Cracker Barrel, a Cabela's, a Walmart, or even a rest area. I'm just not going to do it unless it's a special treat, and it better be a very nice RV resort. So it's not happening. We cannot afford $145 a night.
Not on a regular basis.
No, not at all. No. We've been trying our best to keep it under $50, and that's a struggle.
That is a struggle. The state and parks and the city parks, that's not a problem, but, let's talk about that next. Let's talk about how difficult it is to get into some of these parks.
Do you mean privately owned parks or state parks or
Both.
what?
Both.
Well, yeah, we knew it was going to be difficult, but it's even more difficult now. So, once again, I know there are RVers out there who do this, no plans thing, and they do it by what do you call it, by the seat of their pants.
Yes.
Whatever. God bless you. I still think they're not telling you everything, unless you want to stay at an RV park that charges $145 a night. We're not experts in this yet. We're not. We're learning. But
far from it.
One thing we've learned so far, it's extremely difficult to just do it without any plans. And we're in Florida during the winter months, so it's going to be much more difficult than, say, maybe if we were out west or something.
Sure. But one thing we're finding is that even the parks that are not near the great destinations are hard to get into.
Yeah.
We're talking 30 minutes, 45 to an hour away outside of the destinations we want to be at, and we're still finding it hard to find a spot.
We had
and they're expensive.
We had a hard time. We couldn't find a spot in where was it, in Tallahassee.
No, we
Tallahassee in Florida. Now I don't. Once again, I think that does play into the time of year.
I do too.
So
I do too. Yes.
It's got something to do with playing the time of year, but it is unexpected the cost. That's why we're trying our best to get into. We've stayed at a state park for $20 a night.
Yeah.
And we've stayed at another state park at $51 a night.
Still
so
awesome.
It's still pretty good. But you figure $50 a night, multiply that by 30 nights. Now you're getting into
$1,500.
That's $1,500. So that's just not. We just can't sustain that. We can't do that.
No. Not if we want to go out and enjoy ourselves and have a nice dinner here or there, or go have nice, do some nice entertainment and stuff like that. I mean, we just can't do that. And so another one we're finding is that in 2022, and we're in January, February time of year, it's been cold where we've been. We did not expect it to be this cold.
Now, once again, I'm sure those of you who are more experienced than we are will tell you, well, the weather is unpredictable, and we understand that, and we get that. But you get it in your mind that I'll go down to Florida in January and February, and the weather will be at least in the 70s.
What we should have done is spent more time in the later parts of the winter down north towards Orlando, Tampa, down that way. Instead of coming up to the Panhandle, we should have done that earlier on.
But we were excited because we found spots in some of the nicer parks around Destin. Grayton Beach, and we were like, holy, we were like, man, we got a chance to go there. Let's go there.
Gulf Shores.
And it was, it's still great. It was still awesome, but
it's still nice. But you only instead of getting like maybe 5 days out of a week that you can go out and do something really nice and fun and sunny, we're getting like one.
Yeah, we're going back to Florida next year, right?
We plan to come back to Florida next year, and we'll do it a little differently.
We're going to do it a lot differently.
Okay.
A lot differently. Okay. I think we're just going to concentrate on the southern end of Florida until probably March,
April.
Give or take, March or April. Another unexpected. Would be editing.
So I'll let Chris take it from here.
Look, Katrina will tell you, we met YouTube content creators before we even decided to do this. And they all said the same thing. It's hard, it's difficult, and it's true. It really is, especially the editing part. It's very, well, I should say it's easy. It's
time-consuming.
It's easy. It is and it isn't easy to record and go out and, you learn through trial and error. You'll go out and you'll record something thinking you're doing a good job. You come back and you play it and it's messed up. And you're like, I can't use any of it. Yeah. But editing of the videos is very time consuming. And I'm now understanding why many of them do sit down and chats videos as opposed to adventure videos and going out. And I personally enjoy the adventure videos because I love seeing people go out and have a great time, and I want to go out and have a good time, and it's inspiring, and I love that kind of, but I get it now. I understand why you get a lot of them who just sit around like we're doing right now and just chat, because it's much easier to edit that kind of video than it is an adventure video.
I have a problem with the internet connections. Even though I'm not doing anything for work, I do not like to research everything on my phone. And we don't have a system right now.
No, we still don't. We will.
We will eventually. So now it's important to me that we go somewhere that I have internet. But that's give or take, because it could be expensive. So we have to watch that.
It depends. We've gone to some places, the signal's fine. And the Wi-Fi's fine. It's decent. It's good enough to just... And then once again, we're not working on the road. We're not doing work on the road like others. So we don't need, right now, we don't need this insane strong signal to, sustain us for work.
Right.
Like those of you who are working on the road. So we may go to a park and the signal's average is just enough for us to get online, to check a few things, and we're good to go. And there are times when there are nothing, and we'll go somewhere like to check on things, to a Panera. So, but we're still getting there. We're still getting there. It's just not, I mean, I hate to say, it's just not on the top of my list. I mean, if I have a cell phone and I have a signal, I'm good. And I do need to edit the videos. I can do all the editing without a signal. It's just that when I go to upload it to YouTube, hey man, if I got to run over to Panera Bread, I'll just run over and upload it and go from there.
I also have another thing on my list, which is missing family and friends, hanging out with them. Yeah, I can call them, and yes, I can FaceTime and things like that. But I still like to go out with my friends every once in a while, you know, to have dinner or lunch or hang out for the day at a local winery.
You have me.
I do have
That's all you need.
I do. But it's nice to do. And my kids, I do like to, my children. I like to see my children and my granddaughter.
I think the hardest part for me would be my granddaughter, Olivia. Yeah. Watching her grow up and seeing her and being around her. I love my kids, but I'm at that point where, you know, they're adults now. We move away. Our family did it. I come from a family of 7 kids. We lived in a small little teeny house.
Wait a minute,
We all...
Your father still lives in that house.
Yes, he does. And we all grew up and eventually moved away. And to me, that's just part of life. And I love them to death. And I love my kids to death. But to me, it's just a part of life. So yeah, being away from family and friends is difficult. But at the same time, being on the road allowed me to see some family and friends. I got to see my brother, my sister-in-law, and my niece in Orlando, and I hadn't seen them in years, and I love my brother and I love my sister-in-law. They're awesome people. I love them. So I got a chance to see them by being on the road, and I got to see some friends I hadn't seen in a while.
That's true.
So it's kind of like, it's, you know, right? I mean, there's like
it is give and take that way, because I didn't think about it that way, but you're right.
Right.
I've seen a lot of my family. I have a very large family, and I've seen a lot of them on the road as we've traveled.
With our plans for this year, when we go up to Michigan and Indiana, when we get to Indiana, we're going to be able to see some family.
On both sides.
That I haven't seen, that we haven't seen in a while. So if everything holds true, and we're going to get a chance to see them. So that's the good thing about being on the road.
That is true.
You don't get to see your immediate family, but hey, now we're getting to see extended family. And then what's cool is on social media, if you have a friend from high school or growing up in childhood or whatever you haven't seen, and you remain friends, and you just happen to be in their area where they live, man, you can meet them. That's kind of cool.
That is true.
So
I didn't think about it that way.
All right. So we're another dislike: towing a vehicle.
Yes. This is for you, babe. Yeah.
I don't like it. It's a necessity. I get it. I understand it, and I appreciate it. I just don't like going through the hassle of hooking it up, and it's not difficult. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's not difficult to hook it up and to unhook it. It's just a little bit nerve-wracking, because you better make sure everything's okay, everything's all right. And when you leave, there's those first few miles or minutes, whatever you want to say it, of anxiety to making sure everything's okay.
Sure.
Thankfully, we have a camera that watches it the entire time, and I'm always, it's there in the back of my mind, you know, keep an eye on it, make sure it's okay. It's a blessing. Look, don't get me wrong. When you get someplace, it's nice to have another vehicle once you set up to take it. So once again, it's that give and take, you know.
Because we've done it without, and we'll never go back to that. That was horrible.
Yeah, we did that early on in our RVing experience.
We didn't know any better. We didn't.
We ended up not towing a vehicle, and we rented, and we did the Uber thing, but we went to, I can't remember where we went, but and we had no tow vehicle, and we were pretty much stuck.
And there wasn't much to do where we were at. So.
No, wasn't much to do, and we said never again. Another dislike would be travel day.
Travel day. That's
really, I mean, if I go to a place and I enjoy it and I get settled in and I'm comfortable and I like the environment, oh man, now we're leaving and we got to wrap things up and put things away, and you go through all that, and it's all, it's all part of the process. Don't get me wrong, once again, but you're like, man, I really hate to leave, but at the same time,
we're excited about getting to the new spot, new area.
Right, but you're wrapping up and you got to leave, man. And in some places you really like, and I'd like to stay much longer.
And nowadays you really can't, because for the most part, if it's that nice of a place or it's that nice of an area, they're already booked. We have a lot of likes.
So let's talk about them.
We have a lot.
Oh, and a like would be the flip side of what I just said about travel day. Traveling to a new destination.
New destination, meeting new people, going out and exploring the great outdoors. That's probably
exploring a new area, someplace you've never been. It's exciting, you get you get going, you're like, oh, all right, we're getting to the place, we're getting close. What does my spot look like?
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to be? Who's going to be there?
Yes.
What all can we do? And, I unlike some people who love the boondock, and we've yet to really do any major boondocking, I enjoy being in a campground and seeing all the different rigs, whether it's a tent all the way up to a Class A and a fifth wheel. So part of me enjoys being in a campground and seeing all the different people enjoy what we're enjoying.
Yes, I agree. I like to be at a park that we've kind of got a connection with a couple people. You kind of meet them and you're like, how's it going? And you kind of click. I would like to meet more. So I would like to meet more people.
Okay, so what's another like for you?
Another like for me is just being able to enjoy the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're at home or you have one vacation or two vacations a year, you're trying to cram everything real quick. With RVing, we actually get to enjoy the outdoors and take our time and see new places. It's amazing.
That would be a like going to, different outdoor places.
And hiking and biking and just being outside. Just being outside and enjoying what nature has to offer is a like for me.
Another like would be no longer
Having
to take care of a house, cutting the grass, shoveling the driveway,
the snow,
taking care of the yard, raking up the leaves in the fall. You have some of those things you need to do with your RV. The maintenance, the washing, the waxing, servicing it. It's kind of the same, but on a smaller scale.
It's a much smaller
But there's
scale.
like a weight lifted off your shoulder, at least for right now. No longer, no longer going outside to, fire up the snowblower to clear out the driveway or rake the leaves. So
it's on a much smaller scale.
You still worry about the plumbing, you still worry about the tires, you still worry about the engine, you still worry about the roof to make sure there's no leaks. That would be
Another like.
No longer having a house. For right now.
The last one is
The last like.
We like being away from the cold weather for the most part.
Not for them. Absolutely.
Well, it's been chilly, but it hasn't been cold here. You know what I mean? Like back home, it's snowing today.
Yeah, I don't mind cold weather if I have to throw on a sweatshirt and a hoodie. It's okay. I like that fall weather that we used to run around and play football. In the weather when we were kids growing up. I really don't mind it to a point, but yes, the ability to stay away from cold, snowy, icy weather.
Yeah.
And we will do our best to stay away from that. Now, so far, 7 weeks in,
Chilling.
I'd say 4 to 5 of those weeks have been a bust.
As much as we dislike not having 70, 80 degree weather in the winter, we will take this weather compared to what it is back home.
The biggest like of them all is the freedom and the mobility to know that as Katrina and I sit down and we discuss where we're going to go, what we want to do, there's a sense of freedom in it. A sense that, you know what, this year, if we want to go out west, and on our way out west, we want to stop here, we want to stop there, do this, to do that, we can. I think that, for me, is the greatest like, the freedom of it all. And it's very liberating knowing that we can set our own schedule, set our own destination, and if we go somewhere, if we can, and we want to stay there a month, we can stay there a month.
Yeah, as long as they have an opening, if we want to stay, we'll stay.
And there you have it. Those are our likes, dislikes, and unexpected issues regarding full-time RV life. If you guys have a comment, please leave it down below. Tell us what you think. Once again, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And until then, remember guys, any day you can get away is a great day. You guys take care and we'll see you.
Bye guys.